Welcome to Season 2 of the Cinematics Podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm Casey.
And we're happy to see you again. I'm really happy we get to do a second season. So today we're going to be talking about Transformers 1. Disclaimer, Casey hasn't seen the movie, but I did just...
You were supposed to bring that up.
Well.
I was going to not tell anyone.
Well, now we're even.
Yeah, we are now.
It's okay though. It's an animated Transformers movie, and you've seen like the Michael Bay movies, so. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this, but Michael Bay actually did produce part of the movie. I think he was an executive.
What is a producer though? I feel like a producer is just someone that pays money to be on the credits.
I mean,
right?
That's
so true.
They can have varying amounts.
Fuck off, Frog.
They can have varying amounts of credit in the movie, I suppose, but yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, let's start with our initial ratings like usual. What would you rate it, Casey?
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I'll give it I'll say like an 8.
An 8?
It was extremely enjoyable. Good. It was extremely enjoyable.
Okay.
It's like I was getting a real like across the Spider-Verse or into the Spider-Verse vibe with the way that it was animated, but it was still extremely enjoyable for adults. And it has your boy in it, Chris Hemsworth, who you said, was we were talking about cinematic Chris's, and you were like, yeah, he's the hottest one. So
I thought that was no, you're right. It was.
You talked about Chris Hemsworth at some point.
You're correct.
Yeah, he plays Optimus in the movie.
So when does this take place? Like in the timeline? It's
like the very beginning of Optimus and Megatron, basically. It's their origin stories.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how lore accurate this is either, though.
There's actually a lot of lore to Transformers, from my understanding.
I know.
There's a lot of TV shows and stuff like that go into it. I don't know how many of them are like actually canon and how many of them aren't, and like what the deal is. But I know there's a lot.
I want them to make a full series out of this. This was like really fucking enjoyable. Basically, you start off with everybody, all of the Transformers are just like minors, which is really funny because they constantly say the word minor in the movie. It's like a slur. Damn minors. It's kind of funny to think of them just being underage. Yeah. And they are young. Like it starts with Optimus being Orion Pax at that point. He's not Optimus Prime yet. He's not a Prime. And his brother, or not, they're not like brothers. I don't think anybody, I don't really know how these things are born, these Transformer things, these robots.
I know, from my understanding, it's something to do with like the planet literally is like a machine core.
Yeah, like pumping things out.
They just pop things out. But in saying that, I also know in the movies, in the fourth one, I think, they say that there's actual like creators.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and they seem to be actual people. We don't never see them, I don't think. I never watched the newest one. I also know they also made Optimus bad at some point.
Well, that was like he was under the control of Quintessa or whatever. And the Quintessans are in this movie too.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
But yeah, they're like another alien species, and they're badass. So basically, brief plot synopsis. Optimus and his really good friend, I assume, but they're kind of portrayed as brothers, Optimus and Megatron, who at the time are not Optimus and Megatron. Optimus goes by Orion Pax. Megatron is like, they just call him D. It's like, but it's like a serial number. It's like, huh?
Dinosaur.
No dinosaur. There is a dinosaur in the movie though.
How?
I'll tell you. But basically, so they're just mining for energon because I kind of missed the opening expo dump, but what ends up being the case is that Sentinel Prime is like the almighty ruler of their city that they live in, which I've forgotten the name of, and they just mine energon for Sentinel, and Sentinel leads like a troop of people on the actual outside of the planet. They're all inside it, as like miners, and they just live like just below the surface of the planet. And then Sentinel takes like troops outside to the to like the overlands, to the actual like surface of the planet, and fights against the Quintessans, who beat the I don't know, they're not Autobots and Decepticons yet. They're just robots.
The robots, yes.
Yeah. They beat them, and now Sentinel Prime being the last Prime at this point, is fighting against the Quintessence up there. And then Optimus or Orion Pax and D end up on a mission where they end up getting to the surface of the planet. And they go with Orion and D's boss, who is what is she? Is she? No, she's not RC. She's another one of she's one of the Transformers that turns into like a motorcycle. But the thing is, until like 2/3 through the movie, or maybe halfway through the movie, they can't transform. They don't have cogs, is what they say. Like all of their chests are like empty. You know how usually like they have like something kind of like glowing in their chest in the movies? They don't have that. And they find out that Sentinel has not actually been fighting against the Quintessence. He is actually just giving all of the Energon to the Quintessence, and he has like made a deal with them that the Quintessence won't kill him if he just gives them all of the Energon.
Oh.
And all the Primes are dead. And the Primes in this movie are badass, by the way. They're like basically fucking superheroes. And you get a bunch of flashbacks of them fighting against the Quintessence, or maybe just like 2 or 3 of them, but they all have like capes and stuff, and
dang, okay.
it is super cool. And the animation, like I said, totally badass. But Sentinel Prime, just like in the 3rd Transformers movie, which it's kind of funny that we have to reference the Michael Bay movies because that's like all we've seen of Transformers. But Sentinel betrays the Primes and sells them out to the...
Man, the Primes kind of seem shit.
Well, he sells them out to the Quintessence, and then the Quintessence get a jump on them. They have them outnumbered, and then Sentinel Prime just comes and literally kills all of the Primes from behind.
What?
Yeah, he kills all of the Primes.
Is there a reason?
Because I think that the Sentinel is actually the weakest minded of all the Primes, and the Quintessence came to him and was like, "We're gonna kill you, or you can work with us and kill the Primes." It's backstab him.
Wow.
So he does
now,
that.
the Sentinel, is that the same one in Michael Bay? The
Yeah,
3rd movie? Oh,
yeah.
that's the same
Portrays
guy.
the same one.
Oh.
Yeah. And he looks like more like he does in the comics, or like in the... I watched this Transformers animated show that used to come on in like the mid 2000s. He kind of looks like that. He's like blue and yellow, kind of like how he's in the comics. And so basically everybody back on the inner planet thinks that Sentinel is like a god because he's like the last Prime. But then now D, Optimus, or Orion Pax, they meet B, or Bumblebee, and that their boss now know that Sentinel Prime is kind of like just a rat, and now they want to kill him. They want to take him down because they also find out that Sentinel Prime knew that at some point people would find out that he did this. And so the reason why people can't transform is because he's been just stripping them of their cogs when they're born. So nobody can transform. So nobody has the power to take him down because he's not that strong as a Prime. So then Orion, D, B, and I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. Alita. Alita, that's her name. That's the boss. They end up finding one Prime that survived. And he basically faked dead, and they brought him back to life with some Energon. And he gives them cogs and is like, "Go stop Sentinel Prime." And he's the one that puts them on to the idea that Sentinel's bad. And then the rest of the movie is them trying to kill Sentinel. I think Orion doesn't want to kill Sentinel, and then D, Megatron, really just wants to. He just wants to like kill him, and he wants to be the ruler now of Cybertron and start like an upbringing. And then they run into the front lines on the planet, on the surface of the planet, and that's when you see Starscream, who is the leader at that point of like the surface level troops. You see Shockwave, Soundwave.
As you're seeing all the Decepticons.
Yeah, and some of them do turn into Autobots, but basically Orion gets there and he sees Sentinel, and he sees not Sentinel. He sees Starscream. He sees an opportunity, and Starscream, he's kind of a pussy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to take down Sentinel. He likes his position as the ruler of all of these, people that can transform. Megatron just got his ability to transform, and he can transform into a tank. He's the only one that has like a gun at this point, and he damn near kills Starscream. And then all of these guys that are now, becoming Decepticons are like, "Yeah, Megatron, we're gonna kill Sentinel with this guy." And then Orion takes a different path, and he goes into the inner planet and starts an uprising with all of the cogless robots on the inside of Cybertron tells them about the truth, shows them like, you know, the proof that Sentinel's been taking all their cogs and stuff. And that's basically where you get the Autobots versus Decepticons thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you get your final showdown between Optimus and Megatron. And it's a pretty badass movie. I really love the plot. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how lore accurate it is, but I really want them to make a full series out of this.
It sounds really cool. I really want to go see it.
No, you would love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, now that I spoiled the entire plot for you.
That's okay.
But I don't spoil what happens,
not
but
that
you can
deep
fill
of
in
a
the blank,
plot.
I'm pretty sure.
Like, it's also a prequel, so you kind of know what's going to happen. Other than the
Yeah, a little
Sentinel
bit.
thing, I guess. Other than that. But it seems to be, that's pretty early reveal.
Yeah, well, it's like halfway or maybe 2/3 of the movie where no, it's probably about halfway, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, that would have been revealed. I feel like we would have figured that out.
Yeah, and then, you know, the big finale is Megatron is about to kill Sentinel, and Optimus jumps in his way, stopping him from killing Sentinel. And, you know, he damn near kills Optimus. And then Megatron, I don't think that they actually, I'm trying to remember, I don't think they actually did kill Sentinel.
Which
No.
makes sense because he's in the third movie. If it is lore accurate and those were lore accurate, then that would make sense.
And then Megatron takes, you know, he's branded them as Decepticons because, you know, his upbringing, you know, he told them we've been deceived all of our lives and they're out for revenge. The Autobots are out to make things right because the reason they're Autobots is because they were the working class, basically. Mm-hmm. And then he's taken this group of, like, basically all airborne Decepticons, and then they all just, like, go away, and I assume the next movie will be them against the Quintessence because they never really figured that out.
They just kind of like, yeah, they're here still.
Yeah. And I think they're all against the Quintessence, but, like, it doesn't end with Prime and Megatron hating each other. It ends with them still as brothers, but they see things differently, and they want the same goal. So that'll end up, you know, with them having a conflict.
At some point.
They did. I mean, they fought each other, and it was a badass fight,
Who won?
too.
Or was it kind of a tie?
I mean, it was like Optimus was kind of getting his ass whooped, then he kind of came back. They both took a pretty bad ass beating. Also, the casting in this movie was hilarious to me. You know Keegan-Michael Key from, like, Key and Peele? Mm-hmm. He plays Bumblebee.
Oh, really?
I had no idea. I couldn't even tell through the voice. I was looking up the cast for somebody else, and then I ended up finding out that he played Bumblebee. I was, like, totally shocked. Bumblebee is hilarious in this movie.
I would wow, that was a sentence. I would assume, because he is a very, very funny actor, so I bet you he puts some lines in.
Yeah. And there's a lot of references to the Bayverse, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The Bayverse?
Well, I've heard people call it that. Like, for example, like Bumblebee occasionally, like, you know, like how all the Decepticons have, like, the same voice. Mm-hmm. He'll put on, like, they'll have, like, a voice actor that did, like, the classic Decepticon voice, and he has, like, Bumblebee has, like, a badass name or something, and then he'll, like, say it in, like, a very clearly Bayverse Decepticon voice. It's really funny and jarring.
Does he have the radio thing? Like, do they show why his radio got broken?
I thought that they were going to, because there's a point where he gets captured by Sentinel Prime. Mm-hmm. Him and Megatron do, which is when he becomes Megatron. So basically, Megatron is not a Prime. Mm-hmm. He's just a very powerful Decepticon. Mm-hmm. None of them can be Primes. But Orion was declared a Prime because he saved Sentinel. Mm-hmm. And Megatron, while captured by Sentinel, had this badge on his chest that was supposed to represent one of the Primes that he idolized, named Megatronus Prime. Mm-hmm. Just looked badass. Was a good guy. But then Sentinel, like, burned the badge into his chest of a Decepticon logo.
Wow.
And that's how the Decepticon logo came out. So the Decepticon logo with, like, the pointed, like the super pointy face, that's actually the face of Megatronus Prime.
Wow.
No
and so
idea.
he was actually he was a good guy, and they basically, it's kind of like the swastika.
No, yeah, actually, though, like, Sentinel is like Space Hitler.
Yeah.
I think. Well,
it's kind of true, though, because it was a good symbol for peace, and then Hitler used it to, the swastika. Now it's a terrible, terrible symbol. It's kind of the same thing. Megatronus Prime was a good guy, and they turned it into a bad thing.
They bastardized his name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see where, like, the rest of the series is going to go. Let's see.
Have you seen anything? Have they confirmed that they're gonna make another movie?
They have to, dude. It's doing so well.
I've heard only good things.
Like ratings wise, it's doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more entertaining to finally see a Transformers movie that involves no humans whatsoever.
The humans were always the worst fucking part.
I hope they never go to Earth, honestly.
I hope so too.
I hope
they
this
just
just stays on Cybertron.
on Cybertron for as long as physically possible. They need to end it when they go to Earth, and then that's like when the next, like, that's, you almost like watch these. Maybe they make it a trilogy, and then they go to Earth, and then you can watch the Bayverse. And then you kind of just ignore what happened with Mark Wahlberg and all those movies, because those are all kind of shit.
Well, I hope it just stays animated. I hope it doesn't ever tie into the Bayverse. I hope they just do their own thing with it for a long time. I'd really rather that.
Man, I would love some, like... No, this would be terrible. Never mind. Disregard. I was going to say they should go, like, really far back to show, like, how they were created. Maybe go into some of the Prime stories. But I feel like every time they do that, they just ruin it.
Maybe they could make a series about the Primes.
Like, ooh, kind of like
you know what I'm saying?
Kind of like Death by Robots, where it's like individual, like each Prime gets their own episode, kind of like their story type of thing.
Well, they all died at the same time.
Well, yeah, I know, but you can still get their own kind of like how they became Prime.
Up until that point where they got betrayed by Sentinel. That would be super cool. I would really love to see that happen. And you know, I was like so against TV or movies involving TV shows and their plot developments until I saw that new Penguin show. Like, I'm super down for this idea now. It was Marvel that turned me away from it. I was like, and Star Wars. I was like,
you didn't like the TV shows, the movies that then they get TV shows out of the movies?
No, I didn't.
Really? Why?
No.
Is there a reason?
Because I don't like TV shows. But that's only part of the problem. It was like they would just not be a production that I was actually like interested in at all. You know, it was like I don't know.
Okay, kind of like similar vein because you did bring up Marvel. Have you seen Agatha?
No.
No? Are you interested in it at all?
No.
I recommend. It's actually not bad.
Okay.
Kind of cool.
I've heard split things about it.
It's 3 episodes out. It's not bad. I mean, I don't want to talk about it too long. It's only 3 episodes are out, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's a fair take. I don't like TV shows too much either. I struggle, especially just watching TV shows. Like, I started watching this one show called The Gentleman.
Oh, that show is hilarious.
He's not, though.
I thought it was so funny, but I watched it high, so.
Okay, well, yeah. How many episodes? Did you finish it?
I watched, I think, 2 episodes.
I also watched 2 episodes.
And they were towards the end of the season.
What part? Oh, towards the end of the season. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, you didn't watch the first 2 episodes. Oh. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, this is kind of like weird, and it's not bad.
I liked
but
the
it's
weird
not very
structure of it.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it enough. There was this one scene where the brother, basically, he owes like a whole bunch of money to the mafia, and then the mafia's like, okay, we'll split the debt in half, but you have to dress as a chicken and become a chicken, and then take a video of it.
That makes
and he's
sense.
like, okay, and then he does it, but it's basically just him trying to be, and I think it was. I don't know if it was trying to be funny or if it was trying to be like really weird and like kind of creepy, but it's basically just him trying to be a chicken and then the mob guy basically just yelling at him, be more of a chicken. And it was like a slow motion type thing. And it would be like zooming in on their face as he's yelling, and then he'd zoom in on the chicken and he'd be like, you know, trying to be a chicken, like getting on the floor, doing all this. He comes back and shoots him in the face.
Oh,
but
yeah. Well, yeah, maybe I need to watch that. Sounds like something I'd be into. I'm into that kind of degrading thing. But
it was very degrading. Yeah.
Something I'd be entertained. But I think with this movie already being animated, it does kind of lend itself to a like cartoon style series as well.
Yeah, I would agree. I think cartoon is perfect for Transformers.
Right. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The one thing that I didn't like about this movie that bumped it down a few points for me was that it was the dialogue.
It wasn't very good?
No, it wasn't. And I thought it was really funny seeing Chris Hemsworth as Optimus as well. Not that he did a bad job.
Did he have a good voice for it?
You know, like, you could barely tell it was Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah?
But it was like, sometimes you would, and it's like, that's kind of weird. Thor is Optimus Prime in this movie. Because I feel like that's all I know Chris Hemsworth for.
That's the only thing I know him from.
Yeah.
I know he's in other movies, but I think he didn't get popular until...
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta back up my fucking insert. Until that movie.
Yeah. But yeah, the designs in the movie are like fucking fantastic. The designs are awesome. Also, like, whenever they get their cogs, they have like massive glow ups and they gain like, you know, like several feet of height and they just like become super. I mean, yeah. And then Optimus gives cogs to like all of the Autobots and then they start, you know, becoming their own thing.
See, what's weird about the cogs, right, is that if I would assume like Optimus becomes a big old truck, right?
Yeah, they just immediately become something.
But like in the again, this is just because in the Bayverse this is a completely different verse and it has nothing to do with it. But in that it's like they scan.
Yeah, they come to Earth with like no true transformational form, and then he just like sees a truck with flames on it, and he's like, "That's me."
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they make it to where it's like, oh, it's just a cog, and he actually was always that. But then like Bumblebee changes cars multiple times.
Oh yeah, all the freaking time he's upgrading to the newest model of Camaro.
Yeah, because we like Camaro.
Yeah,
Sponsored.
Yeah, it's a really badass vehicle.
God, speaking of Transformers, man, you've seen the fourth one, right? The first one with Mark Wahlberg.
I've seen all of them.
Okay, do you remember that one scene that they just got out of the spaceship in the sky? Mark Wahlberg goes to the ground. He crashes into a Bud Light thing.
Yeah.
He completely stops the movie.
Yeah.
Grabs a Bud Light, breaks it open, drinks it, throws it on the ground. Like, it's such a stupid scene.
Yeah, they put those movies on pause so much just to show like random product placement. Like also in Transformers 4, like Transformers 4 I think had the worst product placement.
Oh, absolutely.
The one where he was doing like the Transformium thing, it was
the
like,
bead? Oh,
the Beats pill.
Yes.
He was like he was passing the Transformium from hand to hand. He was like, "You can make this whatever you want." The Beats pill, and it just transforms into the Beats pill.
And it stays on it for like 5 or 6 seconds, and then he goes, "A gun!" Like,
maybe I want to buy a Beats pill now.
It's in Transformers. I have to buy it.
Yeah, it was kind of weird though. Like I don't know if I think that actually might be what it's like in like the actual lore. They just like are born to become something.
Which makes more sense, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's cooler.
Alita just turns into a motorcycle. Optimus just turns into a truck. Bumblebee just turned into some sort of yellow car.
Actually, I say it makes more sense. It doesn't make more sense, but that's okay.
I mean, they don't look like trucks and cars like what we have. They look weird.
Are they kind of like, you know in the movies how Megatron is like a tank, but he's like a sci-fi tank?
Yeah.
It kind of looks weird compared to our tanks. It's kind of like that?
Yeah,
kind of.
He's
like a sci-fi car or a sci-fi motorcycle.
Well, have you played like the Cybertron games, like the Transformers War for Cybertron and stuff like that? I felt like you had back.
I remember you playing them and you loving them and you telling me all about them, but I never played them.
Yeah, the designs are kind of similar to that.
If anyone that's played that game, that helps you.
Oh, I don't know. They'll get the picture. And then there's also like a really weird scene where they're like kind of running around. They've got their cogs in their chest and they're just trying to transform for the first time. And they don't know how because they're being chased by, I don't remember what. I think quintessence or something.
What do the quintessence look like?
They just look like weird, like floating aliens.
Huh? Are they like green? Like are they like basic like little green men, or are they like?
There was one that like there are like quintessence soldiers that don't look quite as alien, but then the scene where you see Sentinel giving up all the energon, he basically goes up to him and they're seeing this from afar, and he's like talking to the soldiers, and then they open their spaceship, and out comes this literal like floating green tentacle booger guy.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Literal like sci-fi like freak show shit. And he starts talking to him. You can't see what he's saying, and then he just kneels to him, and it was like, holy shit! It was a crazy reveal.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, the good guy is the bad guy.
Never would have seen that coming.
Yeah. Yeah, the quintessence look pretty cool. I don't know if that's what they actually look like. And they were in like the 5th Transformers movie.
Was it those guys? Weren't they the ones that created everything?
They say Quintessa created everything in that movie.
Yeah.
I think Quintessa
is that
might
a
have been a creator.
quintessin?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
So basically, if that's the case, then that means the quintessence actually made all of Cybertron.
That could be the case.
It's kind of weird.
But they kind of portray them as like an alien species that just invaded and tried to take over Cybertron. Yeah.
I wonder what the real lore accurate canon is.
I don't know. It kind of makes me want to look into it.
I
Also, the Cybertron planet in the movie, really cool to have like the constantly transforming planet thing play out. Because like, I mean, they make their way onto the planet and they're like running on a road that's forming itself as they're walking. Mountains are just like shooting up out of the floor.
What?
It's
That's
super
so
cool. It's super cool. And it like things look robotic, but they still look natural. Like they have like there's like a jungly kind of theme about it where there's like, I mean, they're walking around this road. It's just like forming itself. It looks like almost like they're in like some sort of like mountainous valley, but the mountains are just made of like robotic stuff, and they just like shoot up out of the floor. The there's like a point in the movie where they're running away from Cybertron that's constantly forming mountains behind them, trying to kill them.
Why is Cybertron trying to kill him?
It's not. It just constantly transforms. It's just an
like
environment.
that's the normal thing, and they just happen to be where a mountain was going to be formed.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is really cool. Yeah, I loved that sequence. I thought it was really awesome. Also, like it was really funny. I can't get over, like, part of the dialogue why I thought it was so goofy was because they constantly call, like, Orion and D and B and Alita miners. Mm-hmm. And, you know, damn miners is so funny to me. I don't know. There's more bad dialogue in the movie than that. Like, there's like a really, really corny scene where Optimus tells, at this point, this was just like the who would be Decepticons later. He was like forming a group of them to help take down Sentinel. Because they all want to take down Sentinel.
Yeah, none of them like Sentinel. He's a dumbass.
And he has this like Autobots roll out moment, but they're not Autobots or Decepticons yet, so he's just like, robots roll out or something like that.
It's kind of funny to me that they also call themselves robots.
Or they might have called themselves something else, but I think he just said robots roll out.
Robots roll out.
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. And Starscream, I'm a sucker for Starscream, man.
He's cool looking.
Yeah.
He's kind of, I don't know if he's not in the movies like a ton.
Yeah, but dude, those Bayverse, the first two, well, I'll even say the first three. Well, he took a really reduced role in the third Transformers movie, but the first two, oh my God, Starscream was the coolest thing ever.
He's always had a cool voice.
Yeah, and my uncle made F-22s, so I was super.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Partial, yeah, he built the first F-22. He did the electrical components of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can't talk about this because it's whatever. Because it's Lockheed Martin.
Do we want to talk about this then? Do we need to cut this out?
We might need to. I don't know. I don't know how big of a deal that is.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I don't know if that is. I don't know if that is classified information or not.
I can't imagine you saying that he worked on something would probably be. I wouldn't imagine that'd be classified.
No, but there's a lot of stuff that he can't tell like any of the family.
Yeah, but I feel like he wouldn't have told you that.
Yeah, but he told me when I was a kid. And it's like
maybe he didn't expect you to remember.
They don't even make them anymore.
He's like, so you actually put the red pin here?
No, it wasn't like that. But yeah, no, it can't be. There's no.
I can't imagine that's classified anymore.
Yeah.
Well, classified probably, but saying that you worked on it, I can't imagine is probably.
No, probably not. But yeah, so
that is cool though.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of like Starscream. Yeah, I like the movie a ton. You should definitely check it out while it's in theaters.
I will try. I struggle going to theaters. They're so expensive. They're like, you have to pay. If me and one of my friends went, it would be $40 fucking.
Well, the thing about, I go to school in A&M, so College Station theaters, they always have like student tickets. And if you show them your ID, you can get in for like $5.
Oh, see, we get student tickets, but they're like $2 off, so it's like $10. I can use it. You don't have to be a student. You can just say you're a student when you're buying them.
Usually when I buy them, I don't even do the student thing. I just say I'm a child. I buy a child ticket. And
Does that work?
They don't check.
How old are you?
Me? I'm 21. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say.
No, I'm 13.
I'm 12.
Man. I'm 12. Let me in.
Come on. I know it's an R-rated movie.
You think I could pass as 12?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Maybe like you remember I think Ben? Is that what his name is?
Yeah, from Salem. Oh,
that
yeah.
man could probably. He was like 12 and he looked like you, so maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I don't know why. Some people, I feel like as a society and as the years go on, the younger generations just keep looking older and older.
I think it's cancer.
You think it's cancer?
Yeah.
How so? You think it's just breeding in them early from all the galaxy gas?
Okay, genuinely, don't you think it's probably something to do with like radiation or something like that? The constant radiation maybe like causing more mutations, which is making it to where they like are growing almost faster and getting like bigger and stronger.
Hey man, maybe.
It's not necessarily bad mutations. It can be good mutations.
I hate the young people. They keep taking my jobs.
You're young.
Well, not younger than somebody younger than me. They might have a competitive advantage on me.
I think that was the stupidest thing you've ever said.
By the time they're 21, oof.
They're not younger than someone that's younger than me.
Isn't that always the case, though? I don't really remember the music of the movie. I don't think that was like a good part of it necessarily. But I'd stay solid on like an 8.
At 8 o'clock? 8
Yeah.
o'clock.
8
Fuck,
o'clock.
I'm tired. At 8.
Yeah. It was a real damn good movie. And I'm happy that they're done trying to do. Well, I'm not going to say they're done because they probably will make. They made that like Beast Wars Transformers movie.
Wasn't that one super duper bad? Did you watch that one?
I watched it.
Was it terrible?
I didn't like it.
So it wasn't good.
No, I wouldn't have rated it highly at all. I didn't like Bumblebee either.
I thought Bumblebee wasn't bad. It wasn't very good. I actually think it. I don't know. It was okay.
Ever since my balls dropped, I've never really been able to enjoy a Transformers movie.
So that's going to be the Cinematics podcast. I'm glad. Thank you for watching. I've been Casey.
I've been Connor.
And that's it. Go watch the news. Ever since my balls dropped.